Every night following a Lightning game living in Orlando, when I drive home, I drive on the interstate past Expo Hall. And without fail, I look over and I recall the very first game in Lightning history and say to myself, 21 years later, can you believe that the Bolts played a season in there? And I can recall the very first regular season game in franchise history against the Chicago Blackhawks, who had been in the Stanley Cup final the year before. Phil insists there were 10,000 seats in there. He insists the ice was regulation. There are those that would say bunk on that. But you had an expansion team that had been cobbled together, and they go out and score, does Chris Kontos, 4 times in one game. Well, it's never been repeated in the history of this franchise 20 seasons later. He had 4 goals. You had the electricity of the fans roaring. From pregame pyrotechnics, there was a fog in there. You had Phil and entertainers such as Alan Thicke in the ownership and all, and Black Tie. That was a great night. They had beaten Eddie Belfour and the Chicago Blackhawks, the Western Conference champions at the time, or they'd been the Campbell Conference champions because we were going to play in the West and the Norris Division, with Chris Kontos, the only player still to this day in Lightning history, scoring 4 goals.